All right, so welcome to the FITTskills Live Learning session, where we will learn why logistics is more than just moving products. My name is Laura Rigudo. I am the Partnerships and Community Lead here at FIT, and I am a CITP, or a Certified International Trade Professional. Before we get started today, I would like to acknowledge and give thanks for the opportunity to join you from the unceded territory and homeland of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. Wherever you are, please take a moment to recognize and respect the ancestral custodians, nations, and peoples who lived on these lands long before any settler, each with their own unique culture, language, and history. So just in terms of housekeeping, I do invite you to drop any questions you have in the Q&A box throughout this 30-minute session, and we will answer them at the end of the session. As well, please feel free to use the chat box to introduce yourself, perhaps tell us a bit about your current role and the organization you represent. Wherever you are dialing in from, we welcome you. I see that we have some of our CITPs on the line, some FITTskills students. We have some returning attendees, and I see some first-time registrants. So a huge welcome to everyone. So today we're going to be bringing the Global Value Chain course to life. Global Value Chain, our FITTskills course, examines how organizations obtain resources and what they need to know to control and manage logistical systems in relation to international trade. We have a special guest speaker today, but I will introduce him in a couple minutes. So let me just get started here. I have a little presentation, very brief. Sorry, just bear with me a second. And there we go. I'm assuming, Tiffany, if you if you can't see it properly, just unmute yourself and let me know. So I mentioned that today's session is on logistics, and this is part of our FITTskills Live Webinar series, where typically the last Tuesday of every month, we bring FITTskills training to life. So we take a topic related to any aspect of international trade. We look at trending topics, what our professionals are talking about, what the community is talking about, or we look at topics suggested by you. And so today's topic actually was a suggestion from a couple of our CITPs. And that's why today we have a guest speaker, an expert who's going to bring our FITTskills training to life. So our FITTskills training is basically our international business program. It comprises 6 courses, 6 key courses. Global Value Chain is one of those 6. These courses are available in our FIT EDC Learning Center. And of course, any of the material that I'm presenting today is copyright. So in the headlines, I found this really interesting profile, this interesting report in The Economist talking about trade and transition in 2025. And there was a report specifically on logistics and distribution, and how SMEs more and more are turning logistics into a competitive edge. So I found that very interesting. And not to steal the thunder away from our guest speaker for today, who is actually going to be talking about that as well. So I've left the link here. We will be sharing a copy of this presentation with everyone in a follow-up email, but I found it very interesting. You know, this was a very good report in The Economist. So what I'm going to cover today, extremely brief overview of what is logistics, the logistics cycle, different modes of transportation, support activities, and then I'm going to pass the mic over to our guest speaker, who's going to be talking about basically learnings and experience from the front lines of logistics, and then we'll save the last couple minutes for Q&A. So what is logistics? So the objective of logistics is to deliver the right product in the right quantity, in the right condition, to the right place, at the right time, for the right customer, and at the right cost. I'll take a moment to digest all that, but that's basically the objectives of logistics. Two key functions: we've got inbound, just the materials management side, and we've got outbound logistics, which is the physical distribution of your products to your customers. And we need to ensure that there is alignment with international and bilateral trade agreements, customs regs, and protocols for the handling of dangerous goods. So this is just an example of the materials management handling chain, everything from planning and control through to purchasing, receiving, warehousing, through to production scheduling, and salvage and scrap disposal, if that's relevant. Then on the the outbound logistics side, we're looking at physical distribution. And in our course, we go through the whole customer order cycle in detail, everything from, you receive the order, process it, package the goods, ship the goods, clear them through customs, unload, and invoicing. So there's a lot there. I'm skimming this, but we go into great detail in the course about every stage in this journey and what's involved, the risks that are there, etc. There's comparisons. This is just one section of this table where we compare the different modes of transportation, looking at according to the different criteria, like in terms of bulk handling, which mode of transportation might be more suitable, etc. And then we talk also about the different service providers that are involved. We look at transportation intermediaries, the brokers, the freight forwarders, look at the roles that they play. We also look at third-party logistics providers and walk companies through some of the advantages of using a third-party logistics provider, distribution services, and we talk about the costs involved, the advantages, so that companies are better able to make those decisions for themselves on when they might need to reach out to someone else. So I mentioned that today features content from our Global Value Chain course. It's one of 6 courses. As a registrant for today's event, you will receive a follow-up email with the code that you see on your screen for 10% off any of our online FITTskills training, which is all of these 6 courses. As well, we have 15 workshops. So by using that code, the code expires October 14th. However, and I don't want to turn this into a salesy info session, but I have to mention that we've been running a special promotion, the best promotion of the year. We've been running a promotion for the month of September, which ends tonight at midnight, where we're offering discounts from 15% for one course, all the way through to 35% if you bundle all 6 courses. 35% is huge savings. So if you are on the fence about taking a course, I would recommend that you take it or you register, take that course by midnight tonight, or sign up for the course by midnight tonight, because this promotion ends tonight at midnight. So if you come back tomorrow, that will be gone, but you will still receive the code for 10% off. So at this point, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today. So Sebastian Meneses, there you are. Hello, Sebastian.
Hello, Laura. Hello, everybody.
So great to have you. I'm just pulling up your bio here. So Sebastian is a global trade strategist, logistics manager, and a CITP with deep expertise in helping businesses navigate the complexities of international supply chains. With a background in trade facilitation and strategic partnerships, Sebastian brings a practical, forward-thinking lens to logistics, especially for SMEs looking to expand globally. He's passionate about leveraging technology, sustainability, and smart planning to turn logistics from a cost center into a competitive advantage. Today, he'll be sharing insights on the challenges, risks, and opportunities that define logistics in international trade. So, Sebastian, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Laura, for the introduction. So I'm going to start sharing my screen with the presentation of today. Okay. So just give me a second here. All right. So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me today in today's session. Logistics more than products, more than moving products, a competitive edge for growing businesses. My name is Sebastian. I've managed global supply chains across North America, Africa, Asia, and Latin America, helping businesses to expand internationally and optimizing logistics operations.
Sebastian, can I just, if you want to just minimize your slide notes or just put it in presentation mode?
Absolutely.
We can see your notes.
Okay, so just give me a second here.
I just love after like 3 years of Zoom or using Zoom, it's still interesting. Some days you log in and it's not presenting the way you'd like.
No worries. Let me try it again, okay? Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, it's all good.
Is that better?
Can't see it yet.
You can see the presentation?
No, we can't see the presentation yet.
Give me a second again. Okay.
Off to the races. Looks great.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks great.
There you go. Okay. So in this session, I want you to show you why logistics is not just a cost center, but a strategic tool for competitiveness. So today's roadmap will be why logistics matters in global trade, the challenges and risks, and the strategic opportunities for business. So why logistics matters in global trade? So logistics isn't just shipping, it's the bloodstream of global trade. Like blood in the body, logistics keeps products, materials, and information moving. If it slows or breaks down, businesses, markets, and even economies will suffer. That's why logistics is the true circulatory systems for global commerce. So let's go through 3 important topics here. Customer satisfaction through time delivery will be the first. Okay. So build up your organizational capabilities. Be proactive, not reactive. Okay. So allocate all the necessary resources to help your logistics team. Simple things like stock shipping supplies, packaging materials, tools, boxes, skids, scales, lifting equipment. Make sure that you have all those things in order to support your team Facilitate training to your logistics associates. Build a strong warehouse team. You'll be surprised sometimes with lack of training how things can be delayed. Efficient processes to reduce delays. Work with your quality department, your health and safety department to develop work processes and to maintain optimal standards. Establish shipping schedules, support coordination and uh, consolidation days, spread the workload during the week to achieve the most efficient work shift. Sometimes uh, you're doing too many things at one time and you're not being efficient. One important thing, maintain up-to-date payments to all your transportation partners. You don't want to get yourself put on hold because you didn't pay on time. That will delay your shipments. Be proactive in your communication to keep your clients informed. Transparency is always welcome, even if it is an unfortunate news. To communicate, in logistics situations cannot be controlled sometimes, such as port congestions, road closures, bad weather now that we're coming winter, equipment breakdowns, etc. So that will alter your original plan. So be transparent, talk to your customers, and they will understand. Timely delivery equals trust. So you're building trust. You're just not delivering products. Trust is what turns first-time buyers into loyal customers. Okay? Loyal customers will not only come back, but they will also recommend your business to others and become long-term partners. At the end, consistency on time delivery doesn't just move products, it strengthens your relationships and drives lasting business growth. Another big topic is logistics across the value chain. We have, as Laura mentioned, we have the inbound logistics, we have internal logistics, and the outbound logistics. So within the internal logistics, one thing that I learned is that constant communication with all your relevant departments. In the case of mine, I have procurement, engineering, manufacturing, accounting. Talk to all of them and identify the chain of priorities. Logistics is the one that it will determine at the end of the day what is your priority. You want to ship air, something is rushed, something needs to be here as fast as possible. Dedicated services. So what can become air, sea freight, multimodal, road, etc., and make sure that this is cost effective as well. Your internal logistics sometimes, gets put aside, but is extremely important. It's the management and flow of the information and materials within the company's facility. That supports your production, storage, inventories, and distribution processes. Make sure that you analyze frequency and volume of cargo, plan the most efficient routes for your internal transfers. And finally, the outbound logistics, which is the delivery of the product to your customers. Here, I will recommend to develop shipping packaging standards, okay, that comply with international regulatory regulations and customers' expectations. Here, you have to find the right partners. Rely on your expertise of your 3PLs, freight forwarders, customs brokers, carriers, FedEx, UPS, whoever you need. Build relationships with them. Meet with your account managers. Make sure that you're always up to date with them. Why is important logistics? Because it can create competitiveness and market access, cost efficiency through negotiation, lower expenses by negotiation, better rates, discounts, payment terms within your suppliers and carriers. That will boost your profitability. Money that you can save because you have good rates. That affects the bottom line. Partner diversification. Work with multiple suppliers as well. Create some competition between them. That will reduce also your risk. You always have an alternative. Ensure continuity and increase operational flexibility. And trade agreements. You have to leverage that international agreements. Reduce tariffs, simplify customs, and enter markets more costly effective. Now we are in Canada. We have to make sure that we kind of follow what agreements are being in place by Canadian government and try those markets as much as possible. I want to bring up a little bit of a lived experience. Here at the McLean Engineering, we specialize in the design and manufacturing of mining equipment, municipal vehicles, and environmental recycling systems. It's a global company that manages international business around the world. So in this particular example, I'm going to mention international transaction, sales transaction between Canada. I'm going to put my pen here. Between Canada, Mexico, and Tanzania in Africa. So three points to emphasize here is knowing your Incoterms. And we're going to talk about free carrier Incoterm in particular, responsibilities and risks, and the importance of documentation. So here in the logistics flow starts with a purchase order that has been submitted under the Incoterms FCA to the seller, which is McLean, Canada. Okay, the customer is in Tanzania. So the terms FCA, just to remind you, is free carrier is when the seller delivers goods to the buyers to a specific named place. The seller will handle all export formalities, costs, and risks to that particular point when delivered to a named place. So as I mentioned before, customers in Tanzania, but the manufacturing is done in Mexico. We have a Mexican factory in McLean. So during that manufacturing process, once we have the order in place, something I forgot to mention, the purchase order, the payment terms is 20% on order, 80% on completion. You as a logistics person have to understand what terms and conditions are in the sale. So 20% of order, okay, we got the money, we can start manufacturing. Okay, so during the manufacturing processes, McLean Canada supplies materials, parts, etc., to support the manufacturing process. Okay, so here we have the first logistics part. We have all this moving of materials, which is international. Even though it's an internal logistics, it's international. We have Incoterms, FCA, meaning that Canada does the export documentation, but the Mexican factory will take care of all the freight. But we have, internal transactions such as POs, sales orders, invoices, bill of ladings, opening bonds. You have to cross the U.S. borders, and customs brokers on both sides. So here's very important for logistics. Once the machine has been completed, the manufacturing process has been completed, then you have the second phase of the outbound logistics. Okay. McLean Canada notifies that the machine is ready to the customer. Okay. The customer will pay the final outstanding balance, which is this 80%. Once that is completed, then we have the coordination to ship this machine from factory to, in this case, Tanzania. So the machine has been completed. Now we have to ship it to Tanzania. Remember the terms still FCA for carrier. So in this case, because Mexico is not the seller, it's just a manufacturing facility, Mexico will deliver the machine loaded into a container into a Mexican port. Okay, customer will take ownership of the cargo and transfer the risk once it's delivered to Mexican port, and then finally, once the ownership has been passed to the customer, they will take the cargo to final destination in Tanzania. Okay, so this is one of the the things that we do at McLean Shipping globally. There's other ones that are more complex, but based on we have a lot of time here, I wanted to share with you why logistics is so important in this particular transaction. Challenges and risks. So let's be realistic. Logistics comes with real risks. We all know about that. Delays, shortages, disruptions. The key is not avoiding them, but manage them effectively. In supply chain disruptions, even the best logistics systems face real risks. Evergreen, you remember this incident in March of 2021. There was a 6-day blockage, caused a massive disruption in global trade. There was hundreds of ships being backed up on both ends of the Suez Canal. So it's something that you cannot control. Typically, there's three things that happen with their supply chain disruptions: is a reduced capacity. When there are fewer trucks, ships, or staff, shipments can be delayed and the cost will rise. The second is the surge in demand. There's sudden spikes in orders that can overwhelm carriers and warehouses. That creates bottlenecks. And finally, we have a market imbalance. When supply and demand aren't aligned, uh, like empty containers in one region and shortages in another region. Sometimes, have tons of empty containers in China, nothing in North America. So that's an imbalance. So the deliveries will slow down and the cost will increase. So understanding this risk helps us plan and respond quickly and keep that global trade flowing. And how to prepare to these disruptions? So to strengthen logistics and supply chain resilience is essential to maintain the right level inventories to meet the demand without overstocking. Remember that inventory is extremely important. If you keep too low, you will have a lot of problems trying to get the product on time to support your manufacturing. And if you have too much, you have to prepare that it's going to be expensive for you to warehousing, make sure that they are good, or you have perishable inventory that can, get damaged. So important the right levels of inventory. Also diversify your suppliers to reduce the dependency and mitigate risk. Sometimes you depend too much on too many on one supplier. They cannot deliver on time. That will affect your supply chain. And plan for multiple scenarios to anticipate disruptions. Okay, together, these strategies help you to ensure smooth operations, minimize delays, and keep global trade flowing even under unexpected challenges. The regulatory and complexity and compliance. Okay, you understand different countries have unique rules, tariffs, standards. Staying compliant prevents you with fines, delays, risks while ensuring a smooth trade flows. Now we're facing, a lot of challenges with U.S. tariffs that will make imports costly. Not only on their side, if you are suppliers that come from the US, there's retaliatory tariffs from Canada. Sometimes, there is companies that have headquarters or distribution centers in the US. So the company will sell you with the tariff already included. So you have to reshuffle your supply chain to avoid these particular tariffs. We can talk about this an entire session only in the US tariffs, but it's extremely important to you understand and research that. Seamless coordination between logistics and trade ensure shipments are properly documented, customs clearance is smooth, and delays are minimized, keeping the supply chain efficient and reliable. Make sure you have all the formal documents, USMCA, CUSMA, you have to have it in place. Make sure you have all those things in place. By adhering to all regulatory requirements, companies avoid legal issues, reduce delays, and keep shipments moving efficiently, ensuring a smooth international trade and stronger and more reliable supply chains. Documentation compliance isn't just optional, it's strategic. Remember, accurate, timely paperwork prevents delays, reduces fines, supports decision making, builds trust with partners and regulators. Proper documentation turns routine tasks into a tool for efficiency, reliability, and competitive advantage in global logistics. Right now, for example, with the US, you got to make sure that you present steel and aluminum compliance documentation so your cargo is not stuck when you're shipping into the US. Just one example. What strategic opportunities we have for business? Good news, logistics can be a growth lever, not just a headache. So logistics isn't only about solving problems or avoiding delays. When managed well, it can be drive growth for business. So efficient logistics improves customer satisfaction, reduces costs, expands market reach, strengthens your competitiveness. And instead of just being a burden, logistics can become a strategic advantage that fuels your business expansion. What are the competitive advantages here? Fast, reliable delivery. It will set you apart from crowded markets. We have a lot of competition in the world. Customers will remember you, who delivers you on time, every time, and that trust it turns into loyalty. Here at McLean, we're trying to keep that on. Loyalty is very important. That will drive your business. Consistency in logistics isn't just a service, it's a differentiator that competitors can't easily copy. Okay, you got to differentiate yourself, be good at logistics. Resilience and agility. Global trade faces constant disruptions. We talk about that, shortages, geopolitical shifts, etc. You have to be flexible. You have to adapt your supply chains to pivot quickly, reduce risks, and keep goods moving. Agility isn't just survival, it's what keeps you ahead when others stall. The partnership value, very important. Build that strong relationship with third-party logistics, freight forwarders, carriers, customs brokers. Take advantage of government trade programs. Create and build that powerful support network that you need. Um, these partnerships will provide you expertise, better rates, priority access to capacity, and faster problem solving. Also, the result is a greater leverage in negotiations and the confidence that your supply chain can handle more challenges. The technology and data, digital tools are not just optional anymore. They are essential for your competitiveness. Technology gives you the real-time visibility in shipments, improves forecasting accuracy, and will strengthen your risks management. With data-driven insights, you can anticipate disruptions, make smarter decisions, and continuously optimize performance across your whole supply chain. So just the key takeaways of this presentation that has been brief, and I hope you liked it. Logistics is more than moving products. It's about creating trust and enabling market access. Reliable logistics builds confidence, strengthens your reputation, and opens doors for new opportunities. You can't control all global events, but you can control planning, transparency, and communication. Preparedness and clear communication reduce uncertainty and keeps customer confident. And finally, always expect the best by prepare for the worst. Hope fuels growth, but resilience ensures continuity when disruptions hit. I want to thank you for your time today. I hope this session helped you to see logistics, not just a back office function, but is a powerful tool a driver for competitiveness and resilience in today's world. So I have my LinkedIn here as well, so you can connect with me. I love to hear your thoughts or questions as well. What is your biggest logistics challenge right now?
That's
Thank you.
fantastic, Sebastian. Thank you so much for your presentation. I found it amazing, such a great overview, and I love the your insights into leveraging it to build trust and to be a competitive advantage. We do have one question that came in,
Okay.
but I also, maybe it's just more more of an observation as I'm listening to you present and finding out more about your role as logistics manager. I'm just seeing that yourself and other individuals in a logistics like manager capacity, you really seems like you're the glue that ties these international trade transactions, ties them together, because you're mentioning, working with production and order processing, and is that what you feel like? You really do need to have a handle on so many moving pieces, right? And it seems like logistics is the determining factor between making a profit for that transaction or not, right? By not mitigating risks. So I don't know if you want to comment a little bit on that.
No, you're right, Laura. So basically, you have to find a synergy between all your departments of the company. Logistics is in the at the beginning with the inbound. You want to make sure what priorities you have to support that whatever you're doing, manufacturing of the products, but also that at the end with the outbound logistics. So you have all the synergies, all these conversations that you have to have with your company, with your teammates. Say, hey, okay, what's most important here? What do you need to support? What do you need my support for? And then jump in as much as possible. They have their own jobs, they have their own priorities, they have their own timelines. So you have to be there to support them. So yeah, on the inbound, on the internal part is essential as well. You got to make sure that things are flowing, especially if you have multiple sites. You have branches, you have different international branches, domestic services centers. You have to make sure that parts or whatever product you have moves around smoothly and cost efficiency. That's the other part. You have to make sure that it's as good as possible and cheap as possible. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. So we do have, you mentioned you wanted to know people's challenges. So we have Bill Coleman is mentioning that at Canoe Trading, we often sell LCL to new markets while demand grows. This can often make our products uncompetitive. Is there a logistics solution for this? Sorry, he says we ship LCL, not sell.
Less than container load. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I feel about less than container loads is usually that take longer times to deliver, and sometimes it's not as cheap as you feel. Like sometimes if you have like a 20-foot container, perhaps that will allow you to deliver faster and with the same rates. Okay. Perhaps cheaper, depends where you're shipping. So for Bill, I don't know exactly where is he shipping, but I will recommend maybe to explore a full container load. Oh, China. Okay. So full container loads, 20 footers, if you don't have a lot of cargo, that might be more efficient for you to be more competitive. It will be more availability in terms of routes and how you can ship to China faster. Yeah. Explore full container loads, 20 footers or 40 footers. That would be my recommendation. Yeah.
Excellent. Then we have a question from Sarfraz. He's asking a bit of a long question, but it's about the AI tools that are available. So can you recommend some good AI tools and other software that are proven for Canadian supply chain logistics or among supply chain logistics companies? I'm sure there's a whole sea out
You
there.
know what? I would love to recommend something, but I'm in the middle of it as well. I
Okay.
I am trying to find the right tool. AI is advancing so rapidly right now, and it's hard to keep up. I know that in the next, 2, 3, 5 years, we'll be facing new challenges with AI. Like I don't know exactly how is that going to work. I'm going to try to research more and to answer that question very well. But at this point, I am still in the middle of it, trying to find the right tool. I'm sorry, but yeah, I can't recommend
Yeah,
it AI right now.
I know. I think that holds true for everybody trying to navigate the sea of AI tools for every aspect, not
Yeah.
just for logistics, right?
And
So
it's so powerful right now, AI, that is actually scary.
it is.
How how powerful it is, and how even our jobs can be a little bit on a on a fine line here. So it's important to understanding how the world is moving forward with this technology. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another question here, in the case of semi-permanent structures, is it more efficient to have a 3PL or 5PL partners? And is
Well,
it easier with Incoterms having 5PL partners?
that depends on the level of expertise that your company has. The more you give your 3PLs, 4PLs, 5PLs access to your company, yeah, that definitely will help you out. But everything comes with a cost. You know,
Yeah,
if you are relying on 5PLs, that will mean they will do a lot of paperwork for you. They will do the storage, they will do the buy-in. Perhaps they do more than you can handle it. That's fine if you can afford it. But the more you give, the more it will cost you. So that depends on the strategy that you have in your company, how much you want to leverage the risk to others. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent answer. And maybe just one question that I have, how do you find good 3PL, 4PL, 5PL partners?
Well, we try to keep it as 3PLs because the rest we try to manage internally. But yeah, finding that good partner is very important, especially when you're dealing with different regions in the world. Not only one freight forwarder, for example, will be better at everything. You have to find, remember, you have the Canadian side and the other side. Sometimes they are very good in your region, but in the other region, they're not as effective and not good as communicating. So you have to find a way that the person that is receiving that product at the other side, even if it is an internal, if it is your company, okay, make sure that they know they are comfortable, they work well with them, and then you can work with them in Canada and change them. Like, we work with DHL, DSV, different freight forwarders, but not all those freight forwarders are good in all the regions. So, diversify those 3PLs is very important. Mexico is a different one. They handle is a very different culture, and the way they work is different. So you have to find a good partner in each region and make sure that the communication goes back and forth with those regions with you.
Love that. Love that answer. Well, we're going to have to wrap it up here because I know that Sebastian has a very busy afternoon. Probably every day is the same, extremely busy in your role. Interesting world out there. But I want to thank you so much, Sebastian, for joining us today, sharing your insights and helping other companies leverage logistics as a profit center. So thank you so much for that. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope to see everyone back online next month as we have our next live session, another topic. But thanks everyone for joining. Again, Sebastian, excellent
Thank you
presentation.
very
Thank
much.
you so much. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.